find something you're passionate about, and then it doesn't feel like work. And it's definitely the case for me. And especially now, as we have gotten a little bit bigger, we can be more selective in the clients that we work with.
Welcome to A Founder's Life. I'm your host, Leo Gestetner. On this show, we dive into the real stories behind the highs and lows of entrepreneurship and how we pursue a more balanced and meaningful life along the way. This podcast is sponsored by Thanks, helping founders like us scale with reliable remote talent. Email founders@thanks.com, that's THANKZ.com, with the subject line A Founder's Life, and you'll receive preferred pricing. Now, I'm excited to be joined today by AJ Gupta. AJ, great to have you here. Would you mind kicking things off by introducing yourselves to our audience?
So I am the CEO of Stirista, a company I founded almost 15 years ago, and we are a data-driven marketing company. So a lot of what we focus on is helping clients find new prospects for their businesses to come into, whether it be online or through their storefront, whatever their needs might be. And a lot of what we do is structured around our email services as well as our digital solutions.
Excellent. Can you talk a little bit about the journey that brought you to where you are today? And then just a little bit more about what you are doing for your customers.
Yeah, so got into the business somewhat accidentally. I went to college at a time where a small college where marketing was not an option. So while I was in grad school, I was actually studying creative writing. And while I was doing that, ended up working on a couple of political campaigns, first as a volunteer and then as a part-time paid staffer. And while I was doing that, I realized I really enjoyed reaching out to people and presenting the campaign to people in a meaningful manner and positioning it in a way that made sense to people. So after grad school, as I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, one of my ideas was, hey, maybe this is marketing is something I want to do. And one of the key moments was I went to a marketing conference and learned that there was a whole industry where people were trying to figure out, hey, who do we mail things to and who do we email things to? And there was so much thought that goes into who is getting the advertising. So that's what originally drew me to marketing. And as a writer, a lot of my background was being able to write copywriting and editing and being able to put the message in front of people. So it almost flowed naturally for me to go from what to say to add to who to say it to. And then in terms of what we do with our company, our focus is really on finding retailers that are looking to add subscribers. So for example, telecom companies that might be looking for new subscribers, or think about your online streaming companies that are looking for new subscribers. So common theme for us is who is looking for subscribers. And generally, while we can also help sell TVs or other things, subscription services are really where people are actively looking for new prospects. And that's where we tend to shine, is helping them find those prospects largely through online channels, but we do some amount of direct mail and email as well.
Excellent. And talk to us a little bit about what family means to you.
Yeah, so, as a kind of a company that started without any funding, we were bootstrapped. So the company was really less than 10 people. So the early days in particular, a lot of what the company was almost kind of like the family. We were spending many, many hours together. My kids, I have two kids, 11 and 7, and they have practically kind of grown up in the business to the point where some of the coworkers, they consider them their friends as well. So they have spent a lot of times just kind of sitting around in the office while I'm working, or if there was no babysitter, they would come in as well. But I think one of the things that as we have grown, we have tried to do is keep that dynamic alive. A lot of what we focus on now is making sure we're doing family events. We're incorporating the feeling of family. So when you are coming to work, it's not just focused on doing HTML coding. It's actually you care about the people you work with, you know their families, you know the people you work with. So a lot of our focus is really around creating that collaborative environment and that family structure within the company.
Excellent. And what does health look like for you?
Yeah, so one of the things that was challenging in the early days, because I was working an obscene amount of hours, just trying to kind of wear all hats, was definitely not very focused on keeping healthy. And that's one of the things I kind of realized 5 years into the business, was that if I'm not physically and mentally healthy, the company is not going to be healthy either. So I focus a lot of my time now outside of work in making sure that I am taking care of my fitness, but also encouraging our employees. So we actually have a company softball team, company sand volleyball team, and we have a disproportionate number of tennis players that play or that work at Stirista. And some of it is because around COVID, I was trying to kind of figure out, hey, what should I do to kind of stay active? And I had played tennis in college, so went back to playing tennis pretty frequently, which actually resulted in me meeting a lot of young people or people in college that started interning at Stirista, and we ended up hiring a lot of them full time as well. So we have I would say, a very competitive sporting culture within Stirista. And for me, it's important that people take care of themselves and take care of their health, because I think at the end of the day, all of that benefits work. And part of it is just the physical well being, but also I think when you communicate with people outside of work, and it's not just over happy hours, but you're actually competing together for sporting challenges, I feel like it makes us all much closer than we would be otherwise.
What, beyond some of the things you just talked about, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, so I have been, so as I mentioned, I was a creative writing major. So one of the things that I've been trying to do this year is get back into actually fiction writing. And one of the things I remember from my master's was one of the professors told me, hey, just write one page a day. It doesn't have to be a lot. So I try to do that now, is whether it's start of the day or end of the day, make sure I am putting in one page of writing. I'm try to read where possible. A lot of times it's on, I travel a lot. So on the flights, try to read whatever I can find my hands on. Even sometimes it's just a magazine I pick up on the airport, but trying to get back into kind of the reading and writing, almost a lost art form in the age of internet. And then, I have two kids. One of them is actually very actively playing tennis. So a lot of my time also goes in running him around and going to various tennis tournaments with him. But as an overarching goal, as a family, we want to see all the seven wonders of the world. So we have seen three so far, and we're hoping to see the fourth sometime in the next 6 months. So that's kind of like our fun family goal right now.
Love it. So which have you seen so far and what's still on the list?
Yeah, so we have seen the Taj Mahal, and then we saw Petra in Jordan, and then we went to the pyramids, the ones in Mexico, Chichen Itza, and then our next one on the list is Peru. So Machu Picchu is on the next on our list.
Lovely. I definitely want to go to Machu Picchu. That would be fun to see. And, these days, sounds like you're living a little more balanced life than you did when the kids were younger. So what does a balanced life look like for you?
For me, I like to set myself goals. I do better if I have kind of set goals for myself. So one of the things I like to just kind of track and make sure whether I'm traveling or not or at home is making sure I get kind of 10,000 steps of walking every day, no matter where I am. And then the other things I try to balance out, especially with the travel, is food. So try to eat clean food, try to not eat as much processed food. It's usually kind of a balanced life for me is making sure I am on top of work, but also making sure I'm also getting enough physical exercise during the day. Sometimes that just involves taking a 15-minute break during middle of the day and walking around the parking lot, if nothing else. Or if I'm in a hotel, sometimes it's in a hotel gym. And like I said, the other kind of goal for me is writing a page a day just to clear the mind, putting some words on paper even if sometimes it's fiction, sometimes it's just thoughts for the day, but making sure I keep those habits and routines that I find very useful for myself.
And what has been a pivotal moment for you?
So, what the big thing that happened for our company was COVID. And we realized at that point we were very heavily dependent on health and fitness chains as well as retailers. And the challenge was within kind of first 2 weeks of the shutdown, we had lost our two of our three biggest clients. And obviously, at that point, the feeling was the world is ending, not sure what we're going to do. And that was that moment I thought, hey, we need to diversify our client base. And so we kind of actively spent time. We didn't lay it off anybody, but we kind of changed the mindset in the company that everybody is a salesperson. Everybody needs to think like a salesperson. So we focused on diversifying our client base where we were not so dependent on traditional retailers that were so affected by COVID. And we were fortunate to, at that point, move into both telecom as well as more electronics, which were actually somewhat thriving. So in spite of kind of the hardships the first 3 months with the company had, we were able to turn it around because we did a very smart pivot. And it also gave us confidence knowing that hey, in spite of losing our two biggest clients for several months, we were able to have the resilience as a team to turn things around and be able to pivot that effectively. But also for future proofing the company, it was important that we were not tied to one or two sectors, but had multiple clients across sectors as well.
Wow. And what's one piece of advice you'd give to an aspiring entrepreneur?
Yeah, so for me, I think the biggest thing, and a lot of people say this, and I didn't realize what it meant at first, was find something you're passionate about, and then it doesn't feel like work. And it's definitely the case for me. And especially now, as we have gotten a little bit bigger, we can be more selective in the clients that we work with. I'll just give you an example. One of our new clients was New York Jets, a football team, American football team. And it's something that my son has really embraced is watching football. So when they found out my son was a huge fan, they actually gave us field passes. So he was able to actually go down on the field. It's something, money can't buy, but the fact that we're working with them as a client, we were able to stand where the team's families do. And my son was able to kind of come face to face with some of his favorite players when they were playing the Buffalo Bills. Those are kind of things that happen, but it doesn't feel like work because we're having so much fun doing it. And I think that's important for somebody who is young. When I was in college, I changed my major multiple times. I was trying to do things that I thought my parents would like, or I thought, hey, this might make money. But I ended up, majoring in something that people thought was crazy at the time in creative writing. And people were like, what are you going to do? There's no, there's no jobs in creative writing. And while that might be true, I think it gave me the basis and background to be a successful entrepreneur and have I think the writing skills and the persuasion skills. So I think the key thing to me is being able to do what you like and love and still be able to, you can figure out how to turn that into a profitable company. But I think if you're not doing something you love, that's going to be a struggle always.
And how can people find you?
I am very active on LinkedIn. So AJ Gupta, Stirista, Stirista. That's an easy way to find me. I check my email pretty frequently too, but LinkedIn really is the easiest way. If I don't know each other, connect to me on LinkedIn, and I'm very easy to reach and try to answer as many messages as I can because I've been on the other side where I was reaching out to hundreds of companies to try and get a client.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Loved having you on the show.
Thank you, Leo. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed the conversation, please subscribe and tell your friends. Leave a review. Thank you.